Picture, if you will, a time and a place where local government is responsive, does common sense stuff, and when it's needed. Welcome to You Can't Get There From Here, a show about local politics in Vermont. Hi, I'm Ken.
I'm Irene.
And today we're going to talk about the Essex Charter Change. So, Rennie, where is the charter change at this point?
Well, as you know, a town charter sets up how a local government looks. We have a town government with 5 members on a select board elected at large. Over time, that has proven to be very divisive as members from the majority part of town govern at the expense of the minority.
How does the charter change fix this?
It provides for equal representation for both parts of town, which is very convenient right now because the populations are equal.
Ah, I see. Okay, and what's the status?
Well, as you know, on March 3rd, more than 4,000 voters in Essex chose to change our charter to make the representation equal and to leave the lopsided select boards behind.
So what happened then?
Now the charter change moves to Montpelier, and the Government Operations Committee takes it on.
I see. So it's in the Government Operations Committee, and they met just recently on May the 7th, if I'm not mistaken. I think we have a bit of a clip of them talking about it for the first time. Billy, if you could put up that clip.
Tucker, do we know equal representation an issue between the two divisions now, population-wise? Since it's 3 and 3, is that an issue?
I don't know. I don't know the answer to that.
Am I hearing that right? First of all, who is this guy Tucker? And why is he, out of all those committee members, the only one with one name? Does he think he's Cher and goes by one name?
Actually, Tucker is his middle name. Tucker is a legal advisor to the House Government Operations Committee. He knows all about statute. He knows a lot about charter changes, but it doesn't look like he knows a whole lot about
the population
Essex.
of Essex.
So that's concerning to me because he's the one who's answering their questions. And if he knew a lot about why Essex voters wanted this and what exactly they're asking for, I think he might be better able to serve the committee.
Right. So, well, luckily for Tucker, I think we have a chart of the population of Essex, historically speaking. Billy, if you could put up that chart. All right, so what do we got here, Rennie? Looks to me like population has been changing over time. I see the influence of IBM in 1960. Right about now,
They're absolutely equal.
amazing. Very close, in fact.
Yes,
So,
indeed.
first basic question, Tucker, if you're listening, populations are nearly identical. So, I think the committee has more to say, though. So, let's put up the clip of the further deliberations of the committee. Billy, if you would.
However, the discussion would then be whether there are any legal issues with proportional representation on the board if these are going to be de facto districts within the village and without the village.
So, Rennie, what is he talking about? What is this legality, proportionality business all about?
Well, Ken, local governments are subject to a one-person, one-vote rule, which means you must have approximately equal numbers of people in each voting district.
So what is that based on?
Well, it's based on a number of court cases. The most recent one says that you don't have to be exactly equal, but you have to be within 10% of each other between the districts and among them.
So how does it work with our numbers?
With our numbers, we have close to 22,000 people at last count. We have nearly 11,000 people in the village and nearly 11,000 people outside the village, and they're within 100 people of each other at this point. So very close.
According to the chart I'm looking here, it's less than 60 apart. That's amazing. Out of 22,000 people, we're within 60.
And, you know,
Incredible.
of course, the threshold there would be a difference of 2,200 people.
So now the question is, what happens going forward? Will that dynamic change much? You know, I remember this guy, George something or another. George Tyler, that's his name. I think there was a meeting where I heard him say something about that not likely to happen.
He is.
So, Billy, I think we have a clip of that meeting, if I'm not mistaken. Bring that up.
As we look at, and we're going to look at the town and village populations, they're really close.
Yeah.
And the idea that they're going to be that you're going to hit a point where one is 10% larger than the other within 12 years is possible, but they're both growing, and so it's unlikely.
So, Rennie, George Tyler is saying that not only are the populations almost the same now, but they're not likely to change for as much as a dozen years.
That's what I heard him say.
So let's see if I've got this straight. Tucker, again, if you're listening, populations are the same, not likely to change, totally legal according to within the 10% rule, and again, it better be because the school board uses the very same districts. So there's a little bit more to this story. I think the Governance Operations Committee goes on to talk about some other issues.
They do.
What were those again?
Well, they are curious as to how this might impact a merger plan that
Got it.
may be voted on next November.
The merger, right?
There are questions as to how we might transition to this
A
board.
transition, that was a big thing, yep.
And they don't seem to understand how many other boards are even numbered.
Got it. All right, so that's a lot to chew on. I think we're going to hold that for another episode. I think that's all for today.
Thank
Thanks.
you.